And we are back with some more Calgary Flames franchise mode in FHM 9. And the last one we went through the off season of year number 1, and in this one we will go through at least the first half of the regular season of year number 2. So let's get right to it. Hoping for a bigger season this year out of Doug Elfring. Obviously last season wasn't bad for him, 43 points in his rookie season. So hopefully he can improve offensively while keeping up the same level of defense that he has for the majority of his career so far. All right, so I stopped it here on November 1st because we have 2 wins in our first 11 games. Ouch. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Elfring with the great defensive grade, 78. So that was expected out of him. Offensively, he has 7 points so far. So on pace for a better season than last year. Certainly looks to be more of a defensive two-way forward, though, at the moment. Not that I have a problem with that. That's really good, especially for the playoffs. And Brendan Brisson leads the way in point scoring with 15 in 11 games played, 11 goals as well. Bernier with 14, so Bernier and Brisson working well together, it looks like. Pegamagabo with 9 points in his first 11 games played as a rookie. Stankoven with 8, 7 for Coronado, Hannafin, and Elfring, 6 for Harrington and Emery, 4 for Bell and Mukamadulin, 3 for Fried, Villanueva, and Crystal, 2 for Stromgren and Byram, 1 for Walker and Michaud. And in goal, you have Hart with a 903 save percentage in 8 games played, and Daig with a 888 in 3 games played. Ouch. So not a good start for Gabriel Daig here so far. I definitely liked the way Gage Alexander played last year better. I'll give Daig a little bit to get it together here because he does have that 5-star potential. He's only 23 years of age. But if he doesn't put up the numbers that I expect him to, I won't hesitate to trade him because he's already getting to the age where most of that 5-star potential is going to start going to waste if he doesn't have a really good season here. Honestly, I think most of Daig's ability is inflated by his mental ratings. Like his actual goalie ratings themselves aren't too impressive. Like they're good, they're serviceable for the NHL, but his mental ratings are definitely inflating his ability there. So I almost wonder if it'd be better to just roll with Gage Alexander, just based off how he performed last year and with how Daig's performing right now. Now let's take a look at the team stats. Goals for per game, we are 16th in the league with a 3.36. Goals against, we are, we are 28th in the league with a 3.91 goals against. Yeah, that's not pretty. Face-offs, we're 7th in the league with a 51.6. Power play, we are, 11.1. That's fantastic. And penalty kill is 22nd with a 76.5. Yeah. Special teams need some work, and backup goaltender also needs to improve quite a bit. And then our scoring isn't great either. It's really just one line that's getting the work done for us in Brisson, Pegamagabo, and Stankoven, I'm assuming. Or is that Elfring? It's Brisson, Elfring, and Stankoven. Pegamagabo is on... Really? Pegamagabo is on the 3rd line? He's got that many points? Sheesh. Yeah, we definitely need to improve offensively and defensively in a big way. I mean, we obviously have players who are capable of shutting it down defensively, based off what we're seeing on the defensive grades, but there are clearly still some liabilities on this team. Michaud's not all that impressive, honestly. He has 1 point so far in 11 games played. He needs to step it up. I mean, he had a big season last year. He had 42 points, so I'm not going to go ahead and trade him right away, but I would like to see him bounce back. He's definitely having a slow start so far. Yeah, it's definitely a goal-scoring league now, as we see by all the teams ahead of us. I mean, we have a 3.36 goals for per game, and we're in the middle of the pack. Like, we need to be up there around 4 goals for per game to be among the best in the league. There are a lot of players that I want to hold on to and I want to give a second chance to who are underperforming right now, but clearly something's not working. Most of our coaches are pretty good. Bouillon's in his 2nd season. I don't want to pull the plug on him right away, but if this continues on for, let's say, another month, then I wouldn't be opposed to firing Bouillon. Because we have the talent. I mean, we saw last year, we clearly have the talent to be, a really good team. We had the best season that the Calgary Flames have had in this simulation so far. And don't tell me that Mangiapane had that much of an effect on our simulation last year. There's no way he did. And then as for Beecher, he wasn't all that impactful either, honestly. I mean, true, he is a pretty well-rounded player, but, he only had 30 points last year, and his defensive grade wasn't all that great either. So I doubt moving Beecher is the reason that we're 2-5-4 right now. Defensively, I guess I can send Corbet down. He's only played 2 games, though. It's not like he's even that important part of our defensive core at the moment. So I don't think that'd make a drastic difference on our record. I guess right now the most obvious move is to trade Daig in favor of getting Alexander in there. Because when you compare the two, Alexander is not only better with his goalie ratings, but with his save percentage last year as well. I could get 2 firsts out of Ottawa for Daig here. That might be the play, honestly, because I'm not confident in Daig's ability right now with the way he's simulating. I mean, if he does turn out to be a great goaltender, then so be it. But right now, he is certainly not looking like that. I hate to give up early on a guy, but this is quite a bit of value that we could get for him. Wow, I can get 3 firsts and a second. Actually, scratch that. 3 firsts and 2 seconds for Daig. This is too much value. I can't pass this up. This is way too much value from Ottawa. In fact, I'm gonna see what players I could get besides just the picks. Yeah, we have to trade Daig here. Like they're clearly willing to give up a lot. Well, I mean, they are a win now team according to their outlook, but they're only 6-5. So yeah, I definitely want to get a pick in there. But are there any players I could snag up who I would potentially be interested in? Henry Muse, a right defenseman and a center? Really? Nice utility player, it looks like. Really good offensively, good hitter, like just pretty good all around, really. He had 46 points last year, 71 grades, 72 grades so far this year. Yeah, he looks solid. He has a 79 defensive grade, 65 offensive grade. I want to see if I could get Muse. They'll probably accept it. Wow, yeah. Or I could get Muse and their first for Daig and Aura. I think that might actually be what I do. Yeah, Muse looks really good. Not to mention the fact that he's a defenseman and a center. He can play anywhere, really, that we need him to. And then add on top of that, the fact that you're getting a first-round pick out of this from a team that, at the moment at least, looks like they could be either in the playoffs or outside the playoffs. Yeah, I think I gotta do this. I mean, I was looking for a defenseman like Muse obviously in McAvoy and what's his name, Lambos. Obviously that didn't work out due to the negotiations falling apart, but I think Henry Muse would be absolutely perfect. He's only 24 too. Yeah, this is way too good. I need to do this. Like, as good as Daig's potential is, he's just not living up to that right now. And we could definitely benefit far more from having someone like Henry Muse and just have Gage Alexander in there at backup, because he did a fine job last year. So I'm doing this. Offer trade. Let's see what they say. Okay, the Senators say no, but it's close to being all right. So you know what? Since the draft last year wasn't too deep anyway, I'll just include like a 5th in there in anticipation that the draft isn't going to be so hot this year either, as far as depth goes. So Daig, Aura, and a 5th for Muse and a 1st. All right, Owen Martin is back, so this might help, because we're currently 2-6-6. We still have not won a game since we started trade negotiations. So back to the active roster he goes, and we are going to have to send somebody down, at least temporarily. I think I'll send Freed down for right now, just until this trade goes through. Hey, there you go. We got a win against the Islanders, and trade accepted. So Daig, Aura, and a 5th for Muse and a 1st. Complete trade. There you go. Welcome to the Calgary Flames, Henry Muse. And he is instantly the best defenseman on our roster. So a combination of him and Bernier would be pretty solid. Obviously, one of them would have to move to left defense, or maybe you just put them both on separate defensive pairs to spread out the scoring a little bit. Yeah, that's what I figured. Muse on the 1st, Bernier on the 2nd. So hopefully that helps us get back up to where we need to be. And obviously looking forward to seeing what Gage Alexander can do in his return to the lineup. Oh dear. Oh, that's a rough one. Crystal, some of our forward depth down indefinitely with a ruptured tricep tendon. All right, so we're on December 1st. Things have gotten a little bit better. We're 9-9-7, but still far from ideal. We are 2 points behind the wild card in the West. And as of right now, the wild card is our only chance of getting into the playoffs, because Seattle, who is in 3rd in our division, is pretty far ahead of us at 33 points. We are 8 points behind them. So we definitely need to try to make that wild card if we have any chance at the playoffs this year. Let's check the team stats. Where are we in goals for per game? We are 18th. So we've actually gone down in our position, but goals against per game has gone way up since last we checked, or I guess in this case down. It's gone down, but our place has gone up. We're up to 20th in the league. with a 3.28. So we're certainly getting better. Faceoffs were 14th with a 50.2. Power play still abysmal, 11.7. And penalty kill is even worse than before, 73.9. Cool. So the special teams are definitely a problem. Gage Alexander has yet to play, actually. I was hoping he would, just so we could have some data on him for this year, but it appears Carter Hart is stealing the show right now with a 918 save percentage. So I guess I can't blame the coach, or at least I can't blame him for keeping Hart in there. Offensively, let's see. Yeah, looks like beyond Brisson and Bernier, things are drying up a little bit. Coronado at 19, 17 for Stankoven, 16 for Pegamagabo, 15 for Byram, 14 for Muse. He has 7 points with us in 10 games played, so that's really good. I love that acquisition so far. Emery with 14 points, Elfring with 14. He needs to do a little bit better offensively. I know he's primarily a defensive forward. I would like to see him scoring a little bit more, though, as that 5-star player. Villanueva with 11, Hannafin with 10. Yeah, definitely need to fix the scoring a little bit. James Snyder's player management isn't great, but everywhere else he's pretty solid for an offensive coach. So I think I might replace our current offensive coach in Jeff Taylor. And his player management's up there at 14, so I hate to get rid of that, but his offensive preference is only standard. And with how our offense has been going lately, I do feel like this is a change that is warranted. There's also Todd Richards, who he's got great player management and great with these ratings too, but his standard offensive preference. Paul Maurice, standard offensive preference. Dan Highnote, defensive. Yeah, if anyone here would be a good offensive coach, I think it'd be James Snyder. Yeah, I think I want to hire him. So James Snyder, 99,000 for 3 seasons. There you go. And then Snyder, assigned as offensive coach. Let's see what happens with that change. And I think I'll keep Jeff Taylor on board. And I guess he'll just be an extra coach for right now. But if we don't like how Snyder performs, then we could always just assign Taylor as our offensive coach again. Or if we have some team harmony issues, then he could also help with that, because his player management was higher than James Snyder's was. But at the moment, doesn't look like we have to worry about that, so that's good. Brendan Brisson is injured. How long? That looks a decent length. All right, it's only a mild groin strain. That's good. It's only day to day. Still, any time without our top sniper is not ideal, especially given our current situation. Man, I don't know if we're gonna catch the wild card. Bernier injured. How long? All right, that looks like it's day to day. Yeah, minor whiplash. It's frustrating because every time we win a couple, then we lose a couple. Like we're not making up any ground right now, and that wild card's slipping away. Dallas is at 34 points right now. We're at 27. It's not looking good. I mean, there's still plenty of hockey left, but it's definitely not ideal. We put ourselves in a hole early here. We're not making the playoffs, dude. We just lost 4 in a row. We're now at 10, 17, and 7. Yeah, it's I mean, there's a win against Anaheim, but it's definitely not looking good right now with how things are going. There's another one against Edmonton. Dear. And with that loss against LA, we are now last in the Pacific Division. I don't see it happening. Yeah, I mean, Dallas is at 42 points. Now, I'd be shocked if we made the playoffs this year. Still, though, like it's kind of perplexing. Was John Beecher really that much of a difference maker on this team, even though his grades were kind of bad and his point totals were rather mediocre for a 4-star player? I mean, I guess that's some valuable forward depth there, but still, like, we have Pegamagabo on the third line this year, and I'm pretty sure he's a 4-star player, right? Yeah, he's a 4-star player on the third line. That's literally the exact same thing, except Pegamagabo actually simulates better defensively. He's got a 68 defensive grade, even for being an offensive player. And yet, we are definitively worse this year than last year. So I am definitely a little perplexed as to what the huge difference is this year. So I guess we'll go through the rest of December and then we'll check out the stats for the players and the team stats. And I guess we'll end it off because this is certainly not the way I thought this season would go. Yeah, so it's January 1st now. We are 12, 20, and 7. I mean, I think it's just lack of offense. Yeah, look at that goal scoring. It's dried up big time for most of our roster, really. Besides Brisson and Bernier to an extent. Stankoven with 25 points compared to 74 last year. Yeah, that's a difference. That's a pretty big difference compared to last year. I guess it's just a combination of guys who either they overperformed last year or they're underperforming this year. I'm not sure in Stankoven's case just yet, because he went from 23 points one year to 63, which was clearly his breakout season, and then 74, so it looked like he was only going to get better from there, but then he just drops down to, for what is on pace for 50 points. It definitely seems like he's more like a, based off his ratings anyway, it seems like he's more of a 50-point scorer than a 75-point scorer, so I'd say he probably overperformed last year. Muse was a good trade. He was a really good trade. 17 points so far in 24 games played for us, and I can't remember what his defensive grade was when he was with Ottawa. I think it was a 79, so his defensive grade hasn't changed much, if I'm remembering that correctly. But yeah, this team is definitely, I would say for the most part, most guys overperformed last year. That's going to be my guess as to why we're struggling now this year. Yeah, I mean, I think Michaud is the biggest example of underperforming this year. He had 42 points last year and 37 the year before, but now only 8 points in 39 games played. And can I even attribute that to ice time? Not really. I mean, I know that Pegamagabo has been on that third line right wing spot. I don't know where he was before. Let's take a look at Michaud's ice time. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's been on the fourth line. He's only got 1050 of ice time per game. What's his defensive grade? Yeah, I don't want Michaud on the penalty kill. That might be part of the reason why he's struggling as of when we last checked. So let's check the team stats now. Goals for per game, we are at 22nd in the league with a 3.05. And goals against per game has gone back down to 26th with a 3.54. Yeah, things are definitely kind of unraveled here for your Calgary Flames. Power play as dreadful as ever, 12.4. And penalty kill is the worst it's been all season, 31st in the league with a 72.7. Something needs to change. Maybe do a little bit of a retooling. I wouldn't say rebuild, right? Because we do still have some really good assets, and and guys like Pegamagabo, Stenkoven, Coronado, Muse, who we just traded for, Elfring, obviously. I don't know about a rebuild, but it does seem like a bit of a retooling might be necessary here. So I think with that, we'll end things off here. And in the next one, we will continue with year number 2. See you guys then.